Hello everybody, and Jess here, and welcome back to Symphogear, episode 4. Let me double check quickly if it really is episode 4, just preemptively. Indeed, season 1, episode 4. The plot thickens. The plot thickens a lot, because in the last episode, we got a little bit of a cliffhanger. And I'm saying a little bit because apparently cliffhangers in Symphogear are getting worse and worse and more as the series progresses. So, right now we are apparently dealing only with minor cliffhangers, and I dread to see the day when we actually get to proper cliffhangers by Symphogear standards. Yeah, in any case, in the last episode, we ended at apparently a human enemy appearing out of nowhere. An enemy who wears some MacGuffin armor that they immediately recognized. I need a list of their names, and I'm gonna keep it on my screen at all times. I should have prepared for it sooner, so forgive me that. I wanna remember their names. They deserve it. Those characters deserve their names to be remembered. Okay, how about I do this and this. There we go. Tsubasa. Yeah, Tsubasa. I think it was Tsubasa, the blue-haired one who recognized the armor that their white-haired enemy was wearing. And it's kind of intriguing, to me at least personally, and I want to know what the deal is, because so far we've only ever been fighting non-humanoid or vaguely humanoid blobs of enemies, right? Everything had a fairly simple, monstrous design, right? Everything was very uniform, essentially just blobs, right? Enemy blobs. And now, suddenly, we have a fully designed and geared up actual human character who is sided with the noise. And that strikes me as super weird, because I had this theory that noise might be something that came from outer space, right? Or they might be something that already lived on our planet, something, some threat from within the Earth, or something along those lines. But that that kind of stands in opposition to like human volunteers joining the ranks. Perhaps my theory of the noise being something of a more divine origin, or some sort of a secret bioweapon created by an ancient civilization of Atlantis, you know, something along those lines. But I'm not entirely sure. I mean, the character that we met, right? The enemy that dons this weird armor, she might as well have been indoctrinated. She might be mind controlled by that armor. That's also a very real possibility. Then again, how would she be controlled by that armor if the noise just disintegrates any humans it touches? How would they force her into that armor? Or can the noise control their ability to disintegrate humans? There's so many questions. So many questions. I have no doubts that we will get our answers, but that doesn't change the fact that there are a lot of questions. Also, Hibiki. Hibiki went full berserk mode in the last episode. That's another thing that kind of, you know, that I'm wondering about what's gonna happen to that. Is it gonna be significant, or is it just her gimmick, just her shtick? That every now and again, if she's under duress, if she's, super distressed and has to fight a lot of enemies, she goes psycho mode. And that's just what she does. Or is it gonna be something that she's gonna have to combat? That she's gonna have to fight her primal instincts because she will be lost to them and forever lose her humanity or something along those lines. Those are usually like the two common common results of a character getting berserk mode. Either it really empowers them, or it really empowers them, but at a price. And I wonder which it is. I wonder which is it gonna be in Symphogear. And we cannot forget about one more thing that happened. Was the green-haired one? Is she listed here? Is it Miku? No, Miku here has black hair. Shit, I forgot. No, it's Miku. Is it Miku? If it's not Miku, you're gonna kill me in the comments. But I think it's Miku. Yeah, Hibiki's roommate, right? She agreed to go and watch full shooting stars, but of course, Hibiki has her own responsibilities, and she couldn't be there, and she couldn't explain herself, and there's gonna be a lot of interpersonal drama. And I sincerely hope we're gonna resolve that interpersonal drama quickly. I sincerely hope that it's gonna have a good end and that we're not gonna, go for like 24 episodes across 3 seasons of Miku being angry at Hibiki and then growing apart and growing together and an endless spring of a relationship. I hate that stuff, and I wouldn't want to see it in Symphogear, so I hope we won't. Okay, I think that does it for an intro. I've already been talking for 7 minutes, so we should probably get started with it, right? But before we do, I'm just gonna remind you that you can get early access to Symphogear on my Patreon, link in the description. As you're watching this episode on YouTube, episode 5 will already be on Patreon. Unless I'm late, then it's gonna be a couple hours later. You can drop by my Discord, where I leave updates if something's late, if something's early, when I'm recording, when I'm not recording. So, link again down in the description. It's open for everybody, so everyone's welcome. But let's not prolong it any further. Let's seize the shilling and give you guys some subs. And let's start watching it. Let me triple check that it's episode 4. It is indeed. So, episode 4 of Symphogear, version by HVEC whatever, D-Truck subs. You know the drill, you've been watching it since episode 1, I assume, and I gave the full details of the version I'm watching there, so I'm probably gonna stop mentioning it. I don't know, we'll see. In any case, Symphogear Season 1, Episode 4 is gonna be starting in 3, 2, 1, go. Time skip, or rather, flashback. Oh, it's the red one. Kanade? Kanade. And this dude, another mystery. How was he able to stop a Symphogear attack with his bare hands? What's his deal? Is he a sentient Symphogear? Okay, we know her motivation. Hmm. Some implantation process. I choked on my own spit. Ah, shit, sorry. Uh, I'm guessing Hibiki really had it well, just, getting the shard and just coming out of it without any issues. Ooh, the shadow on her eyes, like Hibiki's. Is Psycho Mode an inherent thing to Gangnir? Gangnir's ability and not something specific to Hibiki? I hear Gangnir in her song. Yeah. Okay, so you can either be born with compatibility with Symphogear, or you can kind of strong arm the compatibility into yourself. The drill that will pierce the heavens. Last meteor. Sun rising behind her back. It's all so symbolic. Okay, she no longer fights through spite and anger alone. Now she has another drive. Yep. And that's when she fell in love. Shedding tears. Nehushtan armor. What is that though? Oh, taken from her? Hmm? Explain, what the fuck is a Nehushtan armor? It's like a Symphogear upgrade? Perfect sync. Okay. She's given too much character to be a one-off. one-off character. She'll either become an ally or a persistent antagonist. Okay, so Nehushtan armor is an unbroken relic. Nehushtan. Whips. I love whips as a weapon. Especially like ridiculously long whips. And a noise summoning wand. Sure. I thought relics were a weapon against the noise though? So how come she's using a relic and is able to summon the noise? And what are her motivations? Yeah, Hibiki is the main character. Exactly. She knows what's up. Shedding tears. You need to speak its name. You need to shout Gangnir. You're not going about it anime enough. That's a lot of noise. At least, hey, they're playing fair. Only a single group of noise engages at once. The others just stand there and observe. Oh, I can't read that. But I'm assuming it's a powerful attack. I'd Hibiki. Balls in your court. That's a nice shot. Thank you, cameraman. Wait. Uh, During their concert, when were they trying to awaken Nehushtan? But the noise managed to steal it because they failed? You're gonna sing your suicide song? Yeah, she wants to sing her suicide song. I mean, she witnessed it once already, so. Is Hibiki gonna stop her the last moment? What language is it? Is it a made-up language, or is it like ancient Sumerian or something? Well, she didn't last long as a character. Neither of them did. Ooh. Oh. That's interesting. Is the Amou trying to possess her completely? Something like that? Well, I guess your suicide was for nothing, because you didn't manage to kill the enemy. You kinda already did. Oh? Is Hibiki gonna reawaken some ultra healing powers or something? No. So she didn't just turn into dust? Why did Kanade instantly turn to dust then? You think that should be turned into dust while in the ambulance, because it didn't take long for Kanade. Zesho. Isn't Zesho part of the full title of Symphogear? Zesho Sensho Symphogear? Senki Zesho Symphogear. But for some reason she didn't. And she's gonna blame herself for it? Or... Yeah, that was a major fuck up on your part. Yeah. I was afraid for a moment that that's the episode. But no, we still have a couple of minutes left. And they're pulling you back into your body. Mm-hmm. How is Hibiki special? The second branch? Of course, she's blaming herself. Ah. But you also need to learn how to use it properly. Your wife is worried. She doesn't show that, but she's worried. And you're really bad at lying and hiding stuff. God damn, you're bad at it. Did you even try? Best girl. You're gonna double down on training or something. Oh, she really is the best girl. Okay, I was afraid there's gonna be some, a lot of tension between them because of that, but no. No, she's actually very mature about that. What a breath of fresh air. And there's no cliffhanger. Or is there? Does he? Okay, let's go. Training arc. Training through. Okay, that's probably not the best kind of training, but sure. Very upbeat, very positive song. Okay, Hibiki found within herself the reason to fight and the strength to fight and the power to fight. That's gonna be a cliffhanger. Let me guess, the armored girl appears. Hmm? What video? Uh, yeah. About that. So there is gonna be some drama between them, isn't there? There has to be. Well, shit, I better get mentally prepared for that. Okay, let's go through this episode again, shall we? Full screen and let's give you this view. Let's go. Right, we start with the backstory on Kanade. Which is not what I expected, to be perfectly honest with you. And this is green tea with pineapple and pomegranate rind. Pomegranate rind seems to be an oddly common ingredient in tea, I noticed. If I had a penny every time I had some tea with pomegranate rind, I'd have 2 pennies. And it's weird that it happened twice. Earlier today, I was recording Girls Frontline, Those Frontline, and Arifureta, and I had some cranberry and pomegranate rind tea. Now it's green tea with pineapple and pomegranate rind. Maybe next time I eat pomegranate, I shouldn't toss the rinds. I should just put them into the dehydrator and make my own tea. Maybe, I don't know. I should probably try. But let's not talk about tea. Let's talk about the anime. I honestly didn't think that that would be Kanade's backstory. I was thinking that she's some sort of a prodigy. Perhaps she hails from this music academy. She didn't strike me as someone who would be this feral. I think that would be like the most proper term to describe her right now. Feral. And that kind of reminds me this whole scene with her later transforming. It really reminded me a lot of Kill la Kill. You know, first of all, Ryuko going from pretty much a feral girl, which was also exemplified by her initial transformation with Senketsu into this weird bleeding monster, right? And then she mellowed out, she got full control over her powers, when Senketsu got caught and she had to collect his pieces, then she was at her, most controlled. And that's the kind of transformation that I see in Kanade here. Another parallel I found to Kill la Kill is also a little bit of Satsuki, when Satsuki donned Junketsu for the first time and she was fighting with it. And that's kinda Kanade fighting with the Symphogear to take control of it, to strong arm it into becoming a part of her. Just a thought I had. Yeah, she is the only one who can avenge them. And right, it seems to be a whole ass process that can very well end in failure. And as we can see, it already was very close to failure. She's not having a good time here. That's what's that anime? It starts with H, and it's horror anime. I forgot what it's called. But yeah, characters have faces like that in that anime. That's what I wanted to say. So yeah, so it's an entire process that involves some injections, this weird machine that puts the relic inside of the body or something. And yet Hibiki was able to just, some shards got into her and, oh, well, whoopsie, I guess I have Symphogear powers now. Without any adverse effects or anything like that. I mean, I'm sure she wasn't having a great time being in a hospital, but I doubt she was going through the same things that Kanade is going through right now. But she's not so easily discouraged. She just gets another shot of whatever rainbow cocktail they prepared for her, and she just strong arms the Symphogear into submitting to her will through willpower alone. And she succeeds. She wished for it, and coughing up blood as she sang, she got it. And she was clad in Symphogear. So what that tells me is that while you might have varied compatibility with Symphogear, right? Some people, like Hibiki and I'm assuming Tsubasa as well, are just naturally compatible, and you give them the relic disappears, it appears in their body, and they henshin. And it's perfectly fine, they're combat ready and all that. Some people need all sorts of rigorous training and medication and treatment and machinery and whatnot to forcefully implant the relic within them. And even that seems to not always be successful. Because I think Kanade's case is an exception, not the rule. If you grabbed any random person from the street and submitted them to the same treatment, they would probably die. Kanade didn't. Which maybe it's her willpower and her conviction alone, or maybe she does have at least some natural compatibility. Last Meteor, that's very Kill la Kill. And she's a completely different person now. She heard that, hey, your song is what kept us going. And suddenly the sun rises behind her, and she realizes that anger and aggression perhaps isn't the way to go about it. She should be bringing hope and happiness, not blood and terror. I think that was the moment for her. And now she's completely changed, right? Everything here was dark and at night and whatnot, and now she's changed and it's a bright summer day. The sea, the water on the sea is sparkling, white clouds are passing by, and it's a perfect day. And she found within herself the joy of bringing people happiness, and that became her goal. And by the end of her life, she wasn't fighting because to to avenge her parents. She wasn't fighting for because of all the aggression and the anger she had within her. No, she was fighting out of love. She was fighting out of love for all the people, out of the desire to protect them. She didn't wipe out all the noise because she was so angry at that noise. She wiped them out because she wanted to protect people. That stands in a direct opposition to what Tsubasa did in this episode. She tried to wipe out all that noise, and the girl in whatever gimmick armor because of anger. Because you got in my way previously, and it's my fault that you got this armor, and I have to atone for that, and I have to avenge. I have to avenge Kanade. I have to avenge all those lives lost. I have to, sacrifice myself to fix the mistakes of my past, and through this anger, through those negative emotions, I'm sacrificing myself. Direct opposite of what Kanade did. What's this armor called again? Yeah, Shedding Tears. Are you gonna hear? Nehushtan. I'm gonna Google real quick. Is Nehushtan an actual thing or is it just a Symphogear thing? Nehushtan. Biblical Book of Kings in Hebrew. Okay. Oh, in the Biblical Book of Kings. Is the derogatory name given to the bronze serpent on a pole. Okay, that doesn't really tell me a lot. The Great Serpent or the Great Brass. What significance does it have? The Brazen Serpent. Yada yada yada. Make thee a fiery serpent and set it up on a pole, and it shall come to pass that everyone that is bitten when he seeth it shall live. Okay, so it's some sort of oh, why was I blown out so much? Yeah, it's some sort of a biblical snake that something. Yeah, I'm gonna lock exposure so I don't become blown out. Okay, so it's something from the Bible. I'm probably gonna read up on it a bit more later. Actually, I'm gonna leave the Wikipedia tab open. I don't want to spend too much time on it right now. But yeah, it has some significance that it's named Nehushtan, because otherwise they wouldn't be calling it that. Serpent, the whips, yeah, maybe that's the reason. I would never forget what was taken from me when my guard was down 2 years ago. So that was the Nehushtan, and okay, I can see the aesthetic of it. Those sharp kind of spike things. Yeah. Okay, so Kanade and Tsubasa were trying to charge the Nehushtan during their concert, but the noise attacked and they weren't able to charge it, and it was apparently stolen by whoever she is. Now that still leaves a question: why is she working with the noise? How is she working with the noise? I guess we'll have to wait and see. Fighting. Of course, the fight scenes are great as always, and the scenes like this one, it's something straight out of, Gundam. Her helmet really reminds me of like Gundam helmets. And I really like her whip. And I just noticed her claws. I really like her claws. I have a weakness for clawed hands. Show me how that whip works. I stopped the recording by accident. I really should get like a dedicated macro keyboard or something because I'm constantly goofing and stopping recording and pausing it and whatnot. I wanted to see the whip whipping around, but where was it? Here? No, a bit earlier. Here. Okay, nothing in particular about this whip. Just a whip whipping around. Animated on twos. Yeah, nothing particularly exceptional. Now it does look great, right? But nothing that would bear like in-depth analysis. And Hibiki ends up covered in goo. Yeah, for a moment I was about to question why is she so... Come on. Why is she so low res here? Because that's the frame I stopped on, but no, we're quickly zooming out, so that explains things. Your armor. Now, does she say it like in general, your armor, like your organization's armor? Or was it supposed to be Tsubasa's armor? As something that she would wear on top of her Symphogear as an additional power-up or something. Not sure. Why won't it appear? Because you have to say its name. Going by anime rules, you have to scream Gungnir and then it will appear. Now, I'm aware that there's probably a different reason. She lacks training, she lacks conviction, she isn't singing, yada yada yada, an endless amount of other reasons, but I'm just memeing a little. Although, let's be honest, once she manages to get Gungnir to appear, it will be while she screams its name. 100% certain of that. And yeah, she can even summon the noise with her weird little wand. Wait. Arigato. Now, this. She became immobilized because of shadow weaving. That doesn't really explain much. What is shadow weaving? Let me take a look. Yeah, shadow. Oh, I think I know what... Okay, I know what it's all about. Shadow weaving. Tsubasa pinned her shadow with her leg blade. That's an ability she has. If she pins a shadow in place, then the thing that casts that shadow cannot move. Because if so, then it's a cool ability, but I kinda wish it was foreshadowed a little bit because it comes off as a little bit of an ass pull. Nothing so far showed us that Tsubasa has like shadow powers. It's the first. Or maybe I missed something. I don't know. And of course, the only way to destroy her is apparently suicide. Why? She's pinned in place. Just walk up to her. She cannot move. Let me reiterate, she cannot move right now. Walk up to her and slit her throat. That's it. You would have enough time to slit her throat with a rusty teaspoon if you so desired. But no, Tsubasa apparently decides that suicide is the only option. She just has to, commit murder-suicide. That's the way to go about it. Perhaps it's her desire to atone. Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe she's just stupid and didn't think of just walking up to her and stabbing her with a sword. Or maybe it's just for dramatic effect. And there is a lot of dramatic effect. Yeah, this whole shockwave thing. Oh, I just noticed the after image. Everything shifts hue, shifts color, her visor breaks. Her armor gets ripped. I like the color change. I like the color shift here. This is interesting. The armor starts growing into her. Or maybe I'm misunderstanding it. Maybe it's not trying to grow into her to merge with her or anything like that. Maybe it's trying to self-repair. But if it was trying to self-repair, why would she be so distressed at the sight of it? Or is she distressed simply at the sight of her armor being broken? And that's why she decides to leave. And yeah, that really shows that what Tsubasa did was really fucking stupid. Because not only did she, as far as she's concerned, committed suicide, she didn't manage to defeat that armor girl. So it was all for nothing. She should be grateful that she lived despite all that. And yeah, of course, Hibiki is feeling at least a little bit responsible for that, at least a little bit guilty. If she wasn't at the arena, chances are that maybe, perhaps, Kanade wouldn't have sang that supreme song or superb song or whatever it's called, because she wouldn't have to protect Hibiki. But maybe she would have sung it anyway, because there was simply so much noise in that area. You have no way of knowing. But of course, Hibiki still. Hibiki still doesn't like that fact, and she still believes that it was at least partially her fault. And now, superb song, yeah. And now she also realizes what she said when she said that she will replace Kanade. She didn't have the full picture, and now she has. And that's another regret of hers, right? That's yet another thing she regrets and she faults herself for. This time it was certainly 100% her fault. But still. And of course we have a scene of meeting in a world between worlds, and her soul is getting sucked back into her body, so I'm assuming she's gonna be fine. She maybe is gonna be asleep for a couple of weeks or something, but then she's gonna be right as rain. And of course, yeah, another reason why Hibiki would blame herself. If she wasn't caught up in the trap, she would have been able to help Tsubasa fight. And she wouldn't be a distraction for Tsubasa. Perhaps if Hibiki wasn't there, her not being there maybe would have been actually better than her being there, because there would be no distraction for Tsubasa. But then again, something tells me that Tsubasa would have sung this suicide song despite all that, despite Hibiki not being there. Or hell, even if Hibiki was able to fight alongside Kanade, not Kanade, Tsubasa, I'm mixing them up. If Hibiki was able to fight alongside Tsubasa, chances are Tsubasa would have still done the same thing. Because of her desire to atone. And of course, Hibiki finds her new conviction thanks to Miku. Thanks to Miku, who is the best girl so far and extremely adult in this situation. She sees that Hibiki is going through something, clearly. She is having trouble with something. So she doesn't blame her for not watching the meteor shower with her. Right? She's not suddenly, offended by it. She's not feeling jealous for no reason. She says, "Hey, I see you're going through something, right? Whatever you decide, just be sure to remain true to yourself, right? I'm gonna give you space. You want space? Sure. I'm gonna give you space, and I'm always here for you. Don't you ever forget that." I really like the way Miku is going about it. And yeah, of course, it was night, so they weren't able to see any. I mean, meteor shower. You watch meteor showers at night precisely because they are the most visible on the black backdrop of the night sky. I went to watch a meteor shower twice, Perseids, I believe. Each time the sky was all cloudy and I couldn't see shit. Just my luck. And yeah, she wants to become stronger to protect them and still be myself. I think that might be one of the defining traits of Hibiki. Because the desire to protect everybody, it's kind of universal, right? Kanade had the desire to protect everybody. Tsubasa, I think she's mostly driven by revenge and the need to atone right now, but perhaps with time, she will also be driven by the need to protect people around her. And perhaps before Kanade's death, she was also driven by that. So that's something common, but strength to still be myself, I feel like it's something specific to Hibiki. Might be mistaken. That might be tying into her sicko mode. I wonder. I wonder if that's gonna become a plot point. Succumb to the power at the cost of sacrificing myself, gaining, sacrifice my own self in exchange for power in the berserk mode, or remain myself, remain true to myself, but have a little bit of a harder time fighting. I think that's something that might become relevant. Not sure though. I can't look straight ahead and hid my smile like an apology itself inside me. Tell to them the future I believe in my brave song. I will be unafraid of battle, proud of my feelings. Amass my feelings. Yeah, that's a Hibiki song. That's a very Hibiki song. Right now. I feel like this series is really starting right now. With Hibiki finding the strength and finding the conviction to fight, finding something to fight for. Episodes 1 to 3. Funny how that works. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. No matter how you understand it, it works. Yeah, episodes 1 to 3 were an introduction, kinda, a prelude, an introduction to the world, to the characters, to the history of the world a little bit. And now Hibiki finds her strength. We're seeing some training montage, and now Symphogear proper will start. I think. I'm assuming. I'm not sure. And of course, training montage. And Miku is here, all worried. Now, has she been stalking Hibiki all this time, or is it just a one-off? Yes, burn, burn, fire of my life. Echo towards the future. Uh, this expression. I know this expression all too well from anime. I don't know what it is about it, but this slightly downward gaze, not quite meeting Hibiki's eyes, and this slight smile, and eyes that aren't laughing, and her saying, I don't want to hide anything from you, of all people. I trust you wholeheartedly. Right? I wouldn't keep any secrets from you. Hint, hint. I would. I'm super open with you, Hibiki. Don't you appreciate how open I am with you? Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. And the lack of music, the lack of any sound, just the birds chirping. I wouldn't hide anything from you either. On a black screen. And the last few words spoken closer to the microphone in a very ASMR fashion. That makes me afraid of future conflict between them, between Hibiki and Miku. Oh, on one hand, I'm looking forward to it because I'm wondering how will they solve it. Will they clue Miku in on the whole Symphogear business, or is perhaps Hibiki gonna find some excuse? Maybe. And here's something that I think has high chance of happening because it's a very common trope. Maybe Miku is gonna get attacked by the armored girl, and Hibiki is gonna have to rescue her, and that's how she will. That's how she will uncover her second identity, right? Her superhero identity as a Symphogear wielder, as a Valkyrie, right? I think that's the term for Symphogear wielders. I think that's how they're gonna go about telling, not directly telling, but revealing the truth to Miku. Yeah. What can I say except I'm looking forward to episode 5? Even though this episode didn't end in a cliffhanger, it left enough things unanswered and it left with enough tension at the end that it makes me want to see the resolution of that. You know? Because that's what cliffhangers are all about. Raise the tension by a lot and then sever the episode. End it abruptly so that the tension doesn't have any release, any culmination. It just hangs there in the air. And despite this here not being a not being a cliffhanger, it has the exact same result. The tension rose a lot with their talk, with the lack of any sounds besides the birds chirping, with this black screen, with anything from you either said in an ASMR voice, and that's where the episode cuts off. It's not a cliffhanger, but it has an effect of one. I guess I'm gonna have to learn to live with it, huh? Now, I have trust that they will resolve it in a mature and good way regardless. I have trust that they're not gonna go full like rom-com about it, with the tension between Hibiki and Miku being something that spans an entire season or anything of the sort. Or at least I want to have trust in the creators of this show. That that's something that they're gonna do, that they're not gonna go for the cheap drama caused by secrets being hidden. Now, at least in this case, there's a reason to hide those secrets, right? It's a state secret, no matter how you look at it. It's not a situation where it's, you know, Yeah, I've seen you with a man. We're through. And in reality, it was the cousin. It wasn't a new boyfriend, and she wasn't cheating. And you know the shtick. Yeah, I have high hopes for it, and I believe that my high hopes will be met with high quality, with equally high quality, if not better. I haven't been burned by this series yet, and I don't think I will. But hey, there's a lot of it to go, so I'm not entirely sure either. Anything else that bears mention? I'm still very, very, very curious about the armored girl. But don't spoil me anything, right? Let me be curious. Let me be restless. Let me sit here moving my legs idly while I wonder why is she sided with the noise? What could have pushed her towards that? Hmm. No, I think the only thing that will answer that question for me is just simply watching more. Watching more of Symphogear, and all my questions will be eventually answered. Uh, yeah, the superb song of the Valkyries. Is that the title of the next episode, or is it how Senkizesho Symphogear is translates? I don't know. Senkizesho Symphogear, synonyms: Senhimezesho Symphogear, English Symphogear, German Symphogear, Spanish Symphogear, French Symphogear. I guess there isn't a direct translation of that. Oh well. Okay, and the first season has 13 episodes. That's good to know. Uh, I'm desperately looking for something to talk about, something more, but I don't think I have anything more. I think I talked about everything that needed to be talked about. So I'm not gonna prolong this episode any further because I'm gonna have trouble gluing those two parts together. It's gonna be annoying as it is, but thankfully I have FFmpeg, FFmpeg, whatever you wanna call it. So gluing those two pieces together should be fairly quick. Right, yeah. If I come up with anything else I wanna add, I'm gonna mention it at the beginning of the next episode, or I'm gonna make a separate video, or I'm gonna talk about it in my Discord server, which you can join. Link is down in the description. How's that for a segue? But I think that's gonna be it from me for today. So leave a comment down below what you thought of this episode, what you thought of my reaction, what you think of my theories. Just don't spoil me anything. Please, I beg of you. I want to experience this series myself. If you ever have any sliver of a doubt that what you want to say might be a spoiler, please don't. Keep it to yourself. Or join my Discord server. There's a Symphogear channel you can spoil to your heart's content in there, and you will meet your fellow gearheads there as well. At least a couple of them, because my server isn't all that big quite yet. Like this video if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it, but tell me why so I can improve. Subscribe to the channel so you get notified of my future releases. It's not only Symphogear but also Sabiku Ibisco, Tokyo 24Ku, Dolls Frontline, and Arifureta Season 2. Yeah, that's my current lineup. Press the bell icon, all that jazz. You know how it works. If you really like what I'm doing, you can support me on Patreon. Link is down in the description. For just $1 a month, you get access to a special channel on my Discord server, and you get a role, and you get to be orange on that server instead of white or green as I am. So that's always something. And for $10, you get early access to Symphogear. So if you cannot wait what's coming next and you must see it now, join my Patreon. Episode 5 will already be up by the time this one airs on YouTube openly. Anything else I need to peddle? No, I don't think so. I don't have any merch or anything. Share the video. If you know someone who's gonna like it, share it. Why not? I'm gonna be unapologetic about it. Share my videos. That's how the channel can grow. And it grew a lot. People sharing my Symphogear reactions got me like 20 something subscribers. Which is mind blowing. We passed 200 subscribers not long ago, and it's already at like 212. It's crazy. Yeah, I think that's it. Join my Discord, subscribe to the channel, like this video, leave a comment, all that jazz. That's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, do all the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Cheers! And here's the wall of Patreons. And you can be on that wall as well, no matter your pledge. If you're the first one to pledge some amount, you will be alone there. Distinguished.